So a big trend right now in blockchain is being compatible across platforms.
Yeah.
One way to do that is with atomic swaps. But with NEO, you've got your own way.
Yeah. Atomic swap basically means there are two users.
Right.
They want to exchange their asset on two different blockchains. The actual asset does not move from one blockchain to another.
Right.
It's just the ownership. They do a swap like this way.
Okay.
But the swap, the different asset are still with different two different blockchains.
Right.
But the way NEO is working is different. We are working on a generic cross-chain or interoperability protocol.
Okay.
That you can move asset from blockchain A to blockchain B.
Right.
Yeah, in an atomic transaction.
Okay, so
that means the destroying of the asset here and the creation of asset here will be either be successful, both successful or both failed.
Right, but also it's, I guess, faster and cheaper than the old atomic swap. Is that correct?
It's not necessarily faster and cheaper, because you have to go through a hub or relay chain. So at least it will be at the same level of speed and cost.
Speed and cost.
And also, it's not just limited to asset transfer. It can be arbitrarily any operation, any, for example, smart contract on blockchain A can invoke or call smart contract on blockchain B.
Okay.
And get the result returned to smart contract on blockchain A and do some other following operations.
So NEO is both blockchain agnostic and also code-agnostic too. So you guys aren't tied to one language. You're tied to any language, really. So how does that help your platform?
We try to support mainstream languages.
Right.
We are the first smart contract system to support mainstream languages like C#, like Python, JavaScript. Why we do that? Why we did that is because we believe the mainstream. There are about 21 million professional developers in the world. There are only about 100. How many? Let me think. 10,000. Around 10,000 blockchain developers in this industry.
Right.
So 21 million, 10,000. We need to attract those 21 million that's not developing on for blockchain.
Well, actually, that's a good point because here in China, right, you've got NEO, you have Tron, you have a whole ecosystem of people developing for blockchain. Generally speaking, do you feel that China has an advantage there of people who are blockchain fluent and also coders compared to, say, the US or to the EU or elsewhere?
I would say China and the US are the two biggest players in this industry.
Right.
And China is trying to catch up.
Okay.
US is still, and maybe Europe is still leading the research side.
Right.
China is more emphasized on the engineering side.
Okay.
But gradually, I saw a lot of researchers, professors, academics look into this area and doing some very promising research. So,
of course, yeah.
I would say we are one of the major force in this industry. Yeah.
But looking abroad, for instance, if you look at new markets, what would be the up-and-coming blockchain development hotspots? Is it Eastern Europe? Is it Southeast Asia? Is it Africa?
I think Vietnam is a very interesting. Vietnam is a very interesting place.
Yeah.
I've never been there, but I heard a lot of stories about how smart the developers are in Vietnam. And there are lots of people interested in blockchain technology.
Right.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so moving on to NeoFS. So recently, actually, I saw a tweet how a power outage knocked out Amazon's cloud services for a large region, right? It shows, even though it's on the cloud, that cloud tech, as of now, is still reliant on those massive hubs. With NeoFS though, right, you guys propose to move towards a more spoke model with, not big hubs, but rather smaller nodes.
Yeah.
So describe technically speaking, how you guys would work around a power outage or a disaster or some kind of massive catastrophe that would knock out an Amazon or Microsoft or whomever.
Yeah. The conventional cloud architecture is a semi-distributed.
Yeah.
They have backup, maybe 2 or 3 or 5 backups in different locations, but it's not that decentralized.
Right.
And they're running the same software, administrated by the same bunch of people. So somehow they're so-called the single point of failure. If something goes wrong, a disaster can happen. But with NeoFS, with those kind of new blockchain-based distributed storage solutions, it's fully decentralized.
Right.
Your files will be divided into very small blocks. You'll be stored at, you don't know where it is. It's somewhere in somebody's laptop, maybe, or even in somebody's cell phone, but it's encrypted. You don't need to worry about your privacy or your data, your IP. You don't need to worry about that.
But you can still segment geographically that data. For instance, if you have sensitive data that cannot leave a country or a region, you can ensure that it doesn't go from, say, the US to Asia or vice versa.
I don't think those blockchain-based file storage system has that feature yet, but I see no reason why they cannot provide that feature in the future.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So with NeoFS, it's not the first blockchain storage company. We've had other ventures, for instance, like Storj or File Token.
Yeah.
But how are you different? Like, how do you guys separate yourselves from other players in the market?
Storj, I've saw the project for years.
Yeah.
I don't know what's their current status.
Okay.
Filecoin is a general solution for distributed storage. They can work for different blockchains, but NeoFS is exclusively designed for Neo blockchain.
Okay.
So Neo smart contract can natively evolve to use the function provided by NeoFS. So it's very closely coupled with the Neo blockchain.
Right.
No.
So, one topic I want to talk about actually on this, theme of being decentralized is BitTorrent. So Tron, your competitor, uses BitTorrent. It paid a large sum for that, I believe, last year. You guys, at one time, spoke with BitTorrent, decided to skip it. So how have you evolved past that? How have you still created a great solution for file storage without being reliant on BitTorrent's tech?
BitTorrent is a peer-to-peer file sharing software. We are actually not targeting that market.
Okay.
We're not trying to build a system to let people download videos, movies. That's not our target audience. Our target audience is actually the dApps, the decentralized applications that need a storage to store their users' data or whatever data they want to store. So we're targeting a different market, and so we decided probably BitTorrent is not what we're looking for.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then what is the market for NeoFS? How do you see it being used?
Today, if you want to save something on the blockchain, it's prohibitively expensive.
Of course, yeah.
But with NeoFS, the cost will be lowered maybe a few thousand times. So I expect to see those dApps will starting to save data on NeoFS instead of onto a centralized cloud.